Hello everyone, my name is Sniping is Fun, and this is going to be an unofficial continuation of the Fire Emblem Hate video discussion for my Super Smash Bros. Discussion series of videos. When I recorded what was going to be just one singular video in part 1, I didn't realize that my battery on my phone was dying and it cut off right in front of me. And I also didn't realize when I was filming it, so when you watch that video, and I'm sorry for it, I don't know why on this one phone I record on, because I record on a couple of them, sometimes the audio unsyncs from my mouth, and I was talking like the words were like a second or two late near that. It was getting worse as the video was going on. So I would recommend maybe just listening to that video and not watching me, because then it looks like you're watching a slow motion video that's trying to keep up with the audio. But without further ado, this is gonna be my quick conclusion to my Fire Emblem Hate in the Smash Bros. Series, fan base discussion video. As mentioned in the first video, I basically mentioned about the history of Fire Emblem, what it was, where it was from, like where the series came from in Smash Bros., where it was in Melee, what happened to it in Brawl, the fact that I felt it was underrepresented in Brawl, and then where I started feeling that I think the series got proper representation in Smash Bros. 4 and Smash Bros. Ultimate. And it pretty much cut off like right in the middle of me talking about like how I feel, especially in Ultimate, people are starting to like flip their minds and flip their lids and go crazy. The fact that it continues to still get new characters and still get more representation, while other Nintendo franchises still sit by the wayside and don't get characters. Without this video going on way too long, basically my thoughts on that are, you can't really compare certain Nintendo franchises to one another. First and foremost, when it comes to Fire Emblem, like since Smash Bros. 4, we got Shadows of Valentia and we got Three Houses. So one of them getting a character was bound to happen, because every single Smash Bros. Game, since Melee, we always get at least one new Fire Emblem character, because the series is still consistent in terms of releases. The series is still consistent. Intelligence System still releases a new Fire Emblem every couple years. It's a consistent, popular, long-running Nintendo franchise. Like, we're going to be getting Fire Emblem 18 probably in a year or two. I guarantee the Switch is going to get at least one more Fire Emblem, maybe two, because the Switch still has about 4 or 5 years left in it. So when Smash 6 rolls around, we probably have some characters from that. But it's become a standard. Sakurai or otherwise, it gets characters every single game, because it gets games between every single creation of a new Smash Brothers. And I know people say, oh, but the Zelda franchise deserves more characters this, and then the Donkey Kong this, and the Kirby this, and all these other characters this. You can't really say the franchises all deserve the same amount of representation and whatnot, because not all Nintendo franchises are treated the same. And I mean that in the means to, like, some Nintendo franchises are, like, the way their creators treat them, like, inside the franchise, like, I said Fire Emblem is a character-driven franchise. 100+ new characters every single Fire Emblem game. New lords, new side characters, new villager-type people that you talk to, new villains. It's a long-running series. While a lot of Nintendo franchises detail the same exact cast of characters every single game. Donkey Kong's always about Donkey Kong and the DK crew. Zelda is always about like Link, Ganondorf, and Zelda. Mario's always usually about Mario and Luigi trying to save Peach from Bowser or some sort of villain like that, like the Koopalings or Bowser Jr. Most Nintendo franchises detail the same exact characters every single game. Fire Emblem, like Pokemon, details different characters, different Pokemon, different regions, different worlds, different continuities all the time. So I feel, in terms of that, you need to kind of represent those series a little bit higher, because you're representing different generations from Pokemon and different games from the Fire Emblem series. Second off, like, those other franchises don't get games as consistently sometimes as Fire Emblem does, or other Nintendo franchises. The last Xenoblade game we got was, besides obviously the remastered version of 1, was 2, and that was like 3 years ago. Kirby gets like one game usually a generation. Donkey Kong sometimes gets about 1-2 games a generation. Mario gets a couple. Zelda sometimes gets 1, maybe 2. It's inconsistent. So in terms of releases, sometimes that makes a difference in terms of how you represent the series, and in terms of number of releases, like how much of the series you have to properly represent in order to properly represent it. Also, like, certain series, like I said, focus on certain characters more so. Like Legend of Zelda, for example. People want more characters in Legend of Zelda, and I do feel, since we really haven't got like a legit newcomer in the Zelda franchise since, Brawl, because, actually really since Melee, but Brawl was kind of like, Toon Link. They deserve at least one or two more characters because it is a Legend of Zelda. But here's the thing: the series focuses on the Triforce trio. Who else can you really add? And there's only like two characters that really come to mind that aren't like one-off villains or very super side characters that only represent some part of the series, and that's Impa and Tingle. And we haven't seen Tingle in forever, and Impa, I think, could easily make it as like an Echo-ish type fighter, Sheik and whatnot. So I still think Impa deserves it at some point. But like I stated, and I want to finish the video here because I don't want part 2 to be way too long, and I don't want the battery to die on me while I'm recording this. Fire Emblem is represented how it is because of how the series is handled by Intelligent Systems, how the series is marketed by Nintendo, and how the series is continuity-wise, inside the content of the series. You can't really represent Fire Emblem with like 2 to 4 characters. It's too story-driven, too character-driven. You're going to be cutting something out. There's always a new consistent game, and it's like, well, we can represent this game, but not this game, and it's like, it's unfair to the newer games if you just keep it like Marth and Roy and Ike, and it's too unfair to the older legendary characters if you just focus on new characters and you cut Roy and Ike and Lucina and whatnot. So you kind of have to keep a balance here and there for what certain characters you include and whatnot. So I do know there is a big debate there. There's the Fire Emblem franchise is probably one of the hottest topics, no pun intended, hot and fire, in the Smash Brothers discussion, Smash Brothers fan base. And I know there's a lot of people out there that hate it seeing getting so much representation, but here's the most thing you could ask for. And I'm saying this not only as a fan of Fire Emblem, because I think it is properly getting represented. It is a series in Smash Brothers that deserves as much representation as it gets. It deserves the amount of representation that like Pokemon, in Zelda, in Mario gets, because it is one of the biggest, longest, oldest Nintendo franchises. But what was I even saying? What the most you could ask for is ask for other franchises to get in alongside Fire Emblem. There's no reason you should hate on Fire Emblem getting more representation. You should just be requesting other series get properly represented too, because you could have both. Fire Emblem can get a new character or two every Smash Bros. Game, but guess what? So can Xenoblade, so can Zelda, so can Mario, so can Pokemon, so can everything else. As long as it's a franchise that tends to be more utilized, and that does hurt certain franchises like F-Zero and Earthbound / Mother and other Nintendo franchises that don't get a new game hardly ever, if at all. But it depends on how Sakurai does it. Fan favorites versus marketing versus recency versus relevancy versus advertising versus whatever. And it depends on how he wants to represent the roster and how he wants to do it. So that's really about it. So I know you're probably, a lot of Fire Emblem haters are going to disagree with these two parts of this video. You can't really... you win some, you lose some, I'm sorry, but that's my thought process, and I do think Fire Emblem is getting exactly what it deserves, and it is a franchise that deserves a good chunk in Smash Bros. Because it is a franchise from Nintendo that offers a lot in return to throw stuff into Smash Bros. To give us all the assist trophy characters in the music, in the stages, in the weapons, and whatever the heck else. Items. And that's it. My name is Sniper1. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to. Have a lovely day. Comment down there below in one of these videos, part 1 or part 2, your thoughts on this. Do you think Fire Emblem is overrepresented? What do you think about the Fire Emblem representation? What do you think about the big Fire Emblem hate from the Smash Bros. Fan base? And let's go from there and discuss it down below and have fun. And I'll see you all later in the next Smash Bros. Discussion. Bye, everyone.